So, for this, the first official episode of the VFR pilot, we're here in the hallway of Over the Mountain Aviation, walking down this length of solo shirts here. And we're going to grab the Hobbs book and we're going to go out pre-flight 700, the red and white Cessna right out there, and go fly some pattern work. Something that most students will spend a lot of time doing, going out, flying the pattern, getting their landings down, and just getting a lot of practice at it until you start to really be able to do those maneuvers well, to hold your position in the patterns, your altitude, your speeds, make a good approach, and come down and put the aircraft down safely. So let's grab that button. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize for some of this audio as we get into the aircraft here. I'm trying several different things. We're going to have some cameras inside the aircraft. I'm actually going to attempt to put one camera outside the aircraft, secure it, hopefully very positively, and walk you through the pre-flight. Then we're going to get in the pattern. And as most pilots will tell you, a good pre-flight starts walking towards the aircraft. I was going to talk a little bit about that, but we had someone taking off right when I was approaching the aircraft. So one of the first things we're going to do is grab our checklist, make sure that everything else is good and secured, and we're going to get these flaps lowered. We're going to turn on our beacon, make sure all of our switches are in, our avionics and everything are off. We're going to turn on our master, just the battery. We're going to check our fuel gauges to make sure that we're seeing full or close to full, and we're going to confirm that in the tanks later, but we need to check that out. We're going to turn on the pitot heat, and we're also going to lower our flaps, making sure as the flaps lower to confirm that they are moving together. One's not lowering faster than the other or getting stuck or something like that. So we can turn the master back off and go outside the aircraft. Now a little bit of this is going to be abbreviated because this is a flight school plane, so we're not going to check all the lights and that kind of stuff, just what we need to do pattern work today. So as we taxi out, we want to make sure to keep our engine RPMs right here at or above 1,000, so we keep good charge on the battery. But we don't want to taxi beyond a speed that is comfortable for us or our ability. While we're taxiing down, we're going to check the taxiway. It's clear left, clear right, so we're going to pull out here and taxi down to 16. The reason I'm taking 16 on a variable day is because the flag was favoring 16 more than anything else. It's kind of going back and forth as we're approaching the flag now, but it's mostly for 16 or crosswind. We don't have to worry a whole lot about our configuration with our elevator and ailerons during this taxi because we have such a low wind.
So we've been doing the pilot blog here for a little while. I decided to actually start a channel. We're calling it the VFR pilot. There's Johnny coming up the taxiway. We're gonna get way over here. Johnny, go on by. Your ass. Your RPM's up. Hey, Johnny. So we're gonna call our YouTube channel the VFR pilot, and I'm gonna go back and put some of my private pilot video blog stuff on there, kind of recording my journey to my private pilot's license. I'm gonna take some of that, put it all together, and we'll see see how that turns out. I'm gonna start a little Facebook page, not anything major. So hopefully, we can converse a little bit on there, talk about some things, share some stories, that kind of stuff. But hopefully, I'll get to do some interviews with some of the in-string pilots out here. There's a lot of neat planes to go for rides in, maybe a helicopter or two, and it should be really neat. I'm going to talk to some of the students, interview them. As I'm progressing through, I like to talk to the students, see where they are, and what their training is going like, how the different flight instructors are handling different things and different issues different students are having and all that kind of good stuff. So it should be a really neat way to share information as I progress through my license, and Brandon, my good buddy, my business partner at AGL, and we're both going through it, and hopefully it'll be a neat way to share some of those experiences. But back to flying, when to sterilize cockpit for a minute. We're pulling up to the hold short for 16. We're going to get our checklist back out. We did our pre-taxi. Now we're going to do a run-up checklist here. And that's pretty much everything. As you can see, we have checklists for everything in the airplane, which is really nice because there's a lot of stuff to remember. So we're going to hold the brakes. Brakes are held and set. Our fuel indicator, our fuel tanks are set to both. We are Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be taking off runway 16 Shelby. So as we start to pull off, continue to check left and right down the runway before we pull out there. Our Mobius is still on the plane, so that's good. Get lined up with the runway here. Smoothly apply full throttle. Holding right rudder as needed. Airspeed is alive. Looking for 60 knots. There we go, let's go flying. And rotate, we're above the runway. Aileron and rudder. A lot of right rudder, counteract that P factor, and we're climbing at right below 80 knots. Making sure to stay centered over the runway on this climb. So what we're looking for, it's going to be a short climb, so we're not going to bother trimming the aircraft for this climb. Full throttle. Everything looks good. Check for traffic. That all looks good. We're looking for 500 AGL. And before we call out our cross turn and make it. So there's our turn. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be turning crosswind runway 16 Shelby. Runway gives me trouble from time to time, and I don't know why. Make sure to continue our climb. 80 knot climb. We're looking for a pattern altitude of 1600 here at Shelby. And in this aircraft, I'm going to hit 1600 right about now. Start to back off the throttle a little bit so we don't overshoot it. And we are almost to our downwind. So, make sure to stay on that ball. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is downwind, runway 16 Shelby. Okay, so going a little quick for that turn. This is my first time back in the saddle for a little while, and we're near our pattern altitude. So what we're going to do is slow down the aircraft and trim it for level flight, because we are in this pattern quickly. Give it a little bit of trim here because we're almost being the numbers. Go ahead and pull the carb heat. Okay, we're being the numbers, so we're going to pull the carb heat. We're going to back the throttle on down to about 1400. Let that nose start to settle down just a little bit and give it 10 degrees flaps.
77 Charlie Tango is turning left base 14 full stop now. Alright, left off.
So, runway's 45 off our wingtip. We're going to start our base. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be turning base, runway 16 Shelby. Okay, deliberate 30-degree turn. Here to monitor our altitude and everything. So I'm going to sterilize this cockpit and stop talking for a minute. Give it a little more flaps. Make our final as we're checking for traffic. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be turning in final, runway 16 Shelby. Last bit of flaps. Crab in just a little bit. We want 60 to 65 on our speed. We can make it to the runway, no problem now. Throttle's almost backed out all the way. A little bit of crab angle, making small corrections. We're over the marker. That same marker of the barrier. We're starting to fall. I didn't call touch and go, so no big deal. Forgot to trim. A lot of things going on. Hold it, hold it, hold it. A little rough. Powering up, lining up, and we're flying again. Take some of this trim out. So some of the things I messed up on there is I stalled it a little bit too high. A little bit of bump here. I didn't trim on my final, but we're learning. We're student pilots. It's been a week since I've flown, so takes a second. All right, there's our altitude. Checking for traffic. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be turning crosswind, runway 16 Shelby. No idea how many landings I've done. That's one thing. I was supposed to get the knee board out so I could track my landings. Pointer for the day as we try to get back to 1680 knots through our downwind leg. Checking for traffic. Pointer for the day, if you're a student pilot, keep a notepad, keep something handy. Once you solo and you're up here logging takeoff and landing.
Traffic out of 39 Delta Sierra, approximately 3 miles south of the field, overflying at 3,500, direct EQQ for the ILS practice 32.
Kind of notate how many takeoffs and landings you're doing on your notepad. Alright, we're being the numbers, carb heat, throttle, 10 degrees flaps, start to nose the airplane over. Our flapping is a little screwy today. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be turning base, runway 16 for full stop, Shelby. Alright, so we like to be about 14 on this turn. We're going to turn up, we got plenty of altitude, throttle's all the way out, flaps, 20. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is going to be turning final, runway 16 Shelby for full stop. Sure, as we make this turn, between 60 and 70 miles an hour, knots, 60 and 70 knots. Overshot that turn a little bit. Get lined up. Last bit of flaps. And the airplane goes forward. Traffic moving around down. About sucking the fun out of something, man. So, that's it from me. Taxi down. We're gonna give this up for the day. Exit A3. So, not an amazing flight by any means. We got some good practice and moderate turbulence. I would not want to fly in any more turbulence than that aircraft. Shelby County traffic, Cessna 700 is clear the active Shelby. Alright, so get this RPM back up just a little bit. Go through our after landing checklist here. After landing checklist, labs up, RV strobes off, so we didn't have strobes, landing lights, taxi lights, pitot heat is off. We didn't have the pitot heat mixture as required. We're going to lean out just a little bit so we don't foul the plugs. We're going to trim to take off. Looking directly in under squawking 1200. Dude. Alright. So that's good to go. We didn't hit hard enough to check the AC. But we'll verify it's silent after we're hearing. So, okay, clear right, clear left, taxiing across to the terminal so we can get parked and secured. I'm gonna open this window up and get a little airflow in here because I don't know about you, but I'm nervous. I got a little sweaty from the nerves there. That was some daggum turbulence. That's by far the worst turbulence I've had to take off and land in some time. Kind of suck the fun out of it, but it's good practice. So as we're coming over here to park, everybody makes fun of me parking, but we got the wheel kind of lined up on the grass over here, and it's a little harder to park on this side. But what we're going to do is try and get the nose of the aircraft right over here. Be sure to watch our wingtips. It is hard to judge how close that is. That looks pretty good. Wheel back up 1,000 RPM, so we're keeping a good charge on the battery until we finish here. Verify the ELT is silent.